Help me reach 5,000 subscribers. Support the video with a like and leave your thoughts in the comments. I read everyone. Thank you. Before we start, if you believe respect in marriage isn't negotiable, hit that like button right now. Let's see how many of us agree. I'm sprawled on the leather couch in our living room, the one Sarah picked because it made a statement. Cost more than my first car, but sure, it's a statement. It's Friday night in our suburban Chicago home. Manicured lawn, mailbox screaming middle-class pride. I'm holding a beer, the bottle sweating in my hand, staring at a TV that's been off for an hour. Sarah's in the kitchen, her face lit up by her phone, fingers flying like she's negotiating world peace. I try something simple. Hey, Sarah, you want to hit that Italian place tomorrow? Been a while. Nothing. Just the tap-tap of her phone. I lean forward, elbows on my knees. Sarah, dinner. Tomorrow. You in or what? She doesn't look up. She mutters, like I'm a radio ad she's tuning out. I set the bottle down, the glass clinking on the coffee table. You gonna answer me? Or is that phone your new husband? She sighs, loud and deliberate, and puts the phone down like it's a favor. Her eyes meet mine, cold, like I'm a coworker who forgot to file a report. Mark, don't yell. I heard you the first time. Yell. I raise an eyebrow. I'm talking. You're the one treating me like I'm not here. She rolls her eyes, grabs her phone again. I'm busy. Can we do this later? It's not a question. It's a dismissal. I take a swig, the beer sharp and cold. This isn't new. For months, Sarah's been like this. Short answers, cold shoulders, acting like I'm some guy she's stuck with, not her husband of 12 years. I've tried everything. Date nights, flowers, doing the dishes before she asks. Nothing lands. She's checked out, and I'm starting to wonder why I'm still trying. If I'd known that night how bad this was going to get, I'd have packed a bag and saved myself a year of this mess. The next weekend, we're at a barbecue at Tom and Lisa's across the street. They're solid neighbors, extra burgers, cold drinks, the kind of people who don't make you feel like you owe them. The backyard's alive, kids running wild, classic rock humming from a speaker, charcoal smoke thick in the air. I'm by the grill with Tom, a wiry guy in a Cubs cap who keeps things light. We're flipping burgers, talking about the Sox's losing streak, when Sarah calls me over. She's with Lisa and a couple of their friends, wine glasses in hand, laughing like they're in on a secret. Mark, come here. Sarah's voice is bright, but there's a razor in it. Tell them that story from work. You know, the one about your coworker's presentation. So funny. I pause, spatula in hand. The story's nothing. Jeff at the office botched a PowerPoint, mixed up slides, tanked a client pitch. I told Sarah last week, thought she'd laugh. Her smile's too sharp now, like she's setting a trap. I shrug and walk over. All right, so Jeff's giving this pitch to a big client, right? Halfway through, his slides are all wrong. He's sweating, clicking like a madman. Sarah cuts me off, her laugh louder than it needs to be. Oh my God, Mark, no? That was so awkward. You should have just stayed quiet. She waves her hand, like she's swatting a fly, and turns to Lisa. He's always trying to be the funny guy. It's painful. The group laughs, but it's uneasy. Lisa sips her wine, avoiding my eyes. A woman in a sundress, Claire, I think, smirks and adds, yeah, some guys should stick to their day jobs. Lisa shifts, uncomfortable, and mutters, Sarah, come on, it wasn't that bad. The group goes quiet, unsure where to land. Tom, back at the grill, shoots me a look. You good? My neck's hot, not from the grill. I could play it off, be the good sport, but I'm done swallowing her jabs. I set my beer on the picnic table, slow and deliberate. Awkward's when you're stuck with a wife who thinks she's the only one allowed to talk. I say, loud enough for the group to hear. Sarah's smile freezes, her wine glass stuck midair. Lisa stares into her drink like it's a crystal ball. Claire's smirk vanishes, her eyes darting to Sarah. I don't wait for a comeback. I walk back to the grill, grab the spatula, flip a burger. Tom leans in, muttering, man, that was a shot. He's grinning, but his eyes say he's watching my back. That night, Sarah's silent, glaring from across the kitchen, arms crossed, phone forgotten. I don't care. I'm done eating her bait. But if I'd known what she'd pull next, I'd have called a lawyer that night and saved myself a month of this mess. Monday, I'm at the office, a mid-sized accounting firm where I've been grinding for years. My desk's a war zone. Spreadsheets, coffee cups, a stapler jammed since 2019. Dave, my coworker, swings by, leaning on the cubicle wall. Big guy, loud laugh. Always yapping about fishing or his kids' soccer games. Word about the barbecue spread. Small town, people talk. Man, Sarah tore into you at Tom's, he says, shaking his head. That was rough. You okay? I tap a pen on the desk, leaning back. She's been pulling that for months. I'm done letting it slide. Dave scratches his beard, nods. My ex used to do that, make me the punchline. Gets old fast. You talked to her yet? I tossed the pen down. Tried. It's like talking to a brick wall that texts back. He chuckles, no judgment. Been there. You need to vent, I'm around. Or, a beer at Murphy's. I nod, appreciating it. Might take you up on that. That evening, I'm home before Sarah. She's at her book club, some obsession where she pretends to read novels. I bet she schemes. I'm in the garage, working on my '67 Chevy Impala, the one thing in this house that's mine. Springsteen's on the radio, low and gritty. Sarah walks in, heels clicking on the concrete, arms crossed, eyes narrowed like she's about to deliver a verdict. Mike's there too, dropping off a torque wrench I borrowed. He's a contractor, broad-shouldered, the kind of guy who says what he thinks and doesn't linger. You embarrassed me at the barbecue, Sarah says, her voice sharp. In front of everyone. What was that, Mark? I wipe my hands on a rag, not looking up. You embarrassed yourself, Sarah. I just called it like I saw it. She scoffs, stepping closer. Oh, please. You can't take a joke. You're so sensitive. I set the rag down, turn to face her. A joke's when two people laugh. You were the only one smiling. Her jaw tightens. You don't get to talk to me like that. You made me look like an idiot in front of my friends. Lisa's still texting me about it. Mike glances up from the workbench, raising an eyebrow but staying quiet. I hold Sarah's gaze. Then stop acting like I'm your punching bag. I'm not here for your entertainment. She shifts, her tone softening, like she's flipping a switch. Mark, come on. I didn't mean it like that. I thought we were having fun. You used to laugh with me. Her voice drops, almost pleading, but her eyes are calculating. I lean against the Chevy. Fun's a two-way street, Sarah. You're driving solo. Mike clears his throat, setting the wrench down. I'm gonna head out. You need me, Mark? You know where to find me. He nods, giving Sarah a quick glance before leaving. She doesn't respond, just spins and walks out, the door slamming behind her. I go back to the Chevy, tightening a bolt. I'm done reacting. I call Mike later, tell him I might need his spare room soon. It's yours, he says, no questions. I also book a spot at a car show next weekend, no discussion with Sarah. If she wants to play games, I'm setting my own rules. A week later, we're supposed to have dinner with Sarah's parents. It's a monthly ritual, 2-hour drive to their place in the suburbs, where her mom, Diane, picks apart my job, my car, the way I hold a fork. Sarah either piles on or sits there, letting it happen. I've always gone, played the good son-in-law. Not this time. That morning, I'm in the kitchen, pouring coffee, when Sarah brings it up. You ready for tonight? She asks, stirring cream into her mug. Mom's making that roast you like. I take a sip, leaning against the counter. I'm not going. Her spoon freezes mid-stir. What do you mean, you're not going? I've got plans, I say, setting the mug down. You can handle it. Her eyes narrow. Mug clinking hard on the counter. Plans? What plans? You know how important this is to my parents. I shrug, grabbing my keys. I'm sure you'll explain it fine. Tell them I'm busy. Her face reddens. You're doing this to punish me, aren't you? Because of the barbecue? That's petty, Mark. I turn, voice steady. I'm doing this because I'm tired of your mom grilling me while you act like it's normal. I'm not your prop, Sarah. I'm done. You're being ridiculous, she snaps. It's one dinner. One night. Then go. I say, heading for the door. I'm not stopping you. She stares, waiting for me to cave. I don't. I spend the day in the garage, the Chevy's engine spread out on a tarp, Springsteen on the radio. It feels good, like I'm carving out space she can't touch. Sarah leaves for her parents without a word. When she gets back that night, she's different. Not icy, but soft, almost careful. She walks into the garage, holding a glass of wine, her voice quieter than usual. Hey, she says, leaning against the workbench. I'm sorry about earlier. I know Mom can be tough. I should have stood up for you more. You okay? I pause, wrench in hand. For a second, I almost buy it. Her tone's gentle, like she's trying to bridge the gap. But I know her. This isn't change, it's a pivot. I'm fine, I say, turning back to the engine. You don't need to check on me. She lingers, sipping her wine. I don't want us fighting like this. Can we talk tomorrow? Maybe plan a night out, just us? I miss that. I keep my eyes on the Chevy. I'm not fighting, Sarah. I'm just done playing along. No more plans until we're on the same page. Her smile tightens, but she nods. Okay, I hear you. Let's work on it. She steps closer, her hand grazing my shoulder. I step back, picking up a socket. She stands there a moment, then walks out, the door closing softly. I get a text from Lisa later. Diane was pissed you skipped dinner. Sarah made excuses, but it was awkward. I don't reply. Sarah's softening is a tactic, and I'm not biting. I book a solo fishing trip with Dave for next weekend. No discussion. My time, my rules. Things get worse over the next month. Sarah's done pretending to care. She ignores me when I talk, walks out mid-sentence, or buries her face in her phone. Last week, she forgot to tell me about a dinner with her work friends. I sat at home, waiting like a chump, until she texted at 9 p.m., out with the girls. Don't wait up. When I called her on it, she shrugged. You wouldn't have enjoyed it anyway. Like she gets to decide what I'd like. I start moving. I open a separate bank account, shift some savings, keep it quiet. No announcement, no drama, just done. I stop asking about her plans, stop trying to sync our schedules. If she wants to play solo, I'm not chasing her. I spend more time in the garage or grabbing beers with Dave and Mike at Murphy's, a dive bar near the office. Mike's blunt, calls things as he sees them. Dave's been through a divorce, doesn't sugarcoat it. You're doing the right thing, Dave says one night, cracking a bottle. Once they start treating you like furniture, it's over. Mike leans in, setting his beer down. She's testing you, man. Push back, or she'll walk all over you. I stare at the bar's neon sign. I'm not furniture. Damn straight, Dave says, raising his bottle. To not being furniture. I clink my bottle against theirs, but I'm already planning. I confirm Mike's spare room is open. I pack a duffel, clothes, tools, a few books, and stash it in the Chevy's trunk. Small moves, no theatrics. Just setting the board. A few days later, I'm moving more stuff to Mike's. I'm in the garage, boxing up wrenches, when Sarah walks in with Mike, who's helping me load a toolbox. She's all smiles, carrying a plate of cookies like she's auditioning for a baking show. Her voice is syrupy, eyes wide, like she's selling something. Hey, I made these for you, she says, setting the plate on the workbench. I know you've been stressed, Mark. I thought, maybe we could take a weekend, just us? Get away, reset. I stop, socket wrench in hand. For a second, I'm thrown. She hasn't been this warm in years. Her hand brushes my arm, and I almost believe she means it. Almost. But I see the play. I've just pulled my tools, my books, half my life out of her reach. She's scrambling. Thanks for the cookies, I say, setting the wrench down. But I'm good. Got plans. Her smile wavers. Plans? What's going on, Mark? You're acting distant. I look at her, steady. I'm matching your energy, Sarah. You've been distant for months. Mike shifts, leaning against the workbench. He's got a life, Sarah. Let him live it. His tone's light, but it lands. Sarah's eyes flicker to him, then back to me. She opens her mouth, closes it, grabs the plate, and walks out. The door clicks shut. Mike shakes his head. She's trying too hard, man. Watch your back. I nod, boxing up another wrench. She's not winning me back with cookies and fake concern. I'm already gone. Sarah doubles down over the next few weeks. She stops ignoring me and starts pushing. One night, she forgets to tell me about a neighborhood block party until an hour before. You can still come, she says, like it's a favor. I don't go? I drive to a car show an hour away, spend the day talking engines with guys who don't care about drama. When I get back, Sarah's in the kitchen, arms crossed, fuming. Tom's there, dropping off a cooler he borrowed. He must have been at the party. You ditched me, Sarah says, her voice sharp. Everyone was asking where you were. Do you know how that looked? I pour a coffee, not looking at her. I'm sure you handled it. You're good at talking. Her voice rises. What's wrong with you? You're acting like a child. People noticed, Mark. They're talking. Tom sets the cooler down, glancing between us. Yeah, folks were wondering where you were, Mark. Sarah said you were sick or something. Didn't sound right. I sip my coffee, turn to Sarah. Sick, huh? A child would have shown up to get laughed at again. I'm done with your stage. She glares, her face reddening. You're making this harder than it needs to be. Why can't you just show up for once? I set the mug down. Because I'm not your prop, Sarah. I've got better things to do. I look at Tom. Thanks for the cooler. I'm heading out this weekend, fishing with Dave. You in? Tom nods, catching my drift. Yeah, man, count me in. Sarah storms off, slamming the bedroom door. I call Jim, the lawyer, tell him to push the paperwork. I also find a condo near the office. 1 bedroom, small balcony, close enough to walk to work. I put in an offer, no word to Sarah. She doesn't need to know. The real kicker comes at a work event, a charity gala at a downtown hotel. Black tie, chandeliers, the kind of place where my suit feels borrowed. I'm there because the firm expects it, trying to impress big clients. Sarah's in a red dress, working the room like she's campaigning, chatting up my boss, Greg, a guy who cares about numbers, not chit-chat. I'm across the room with Dave and his wife, Karen, a quiet high school teacher. We're talking about her school's football team, Dave's latest fishing trip, when Sarah waves me over. Mark, tell Greg about that project you're working on, she says, her voice dripping with fake sweetness. You know, the one you've been slaving over? I know the trap. I nod to Greg. New client account. I start, keeping it tight. Big retailer, messy books, but we're streamlining their tax structure. Sarah cuts in, laughing, her hand on Greg's arm. Oh, honey, don't bore him with the details. It's just spreadsheets and coffee stains, right? Greg raises an eyebrow, glancing at me. Actually, I'd like to hear this. Sounds like a tough account. Karen shifts, muttering. That's not fair, Sarah. Dave snorts, leaning back. Yeah, let the man talk. The room shrinks, eyes on me. I could let it slide, keep the peace. But I'm done. I turn to Sarah, voice calm but clear, carrying across the group. If it's so boring, Sarah, why don't you tell Greg what you do all day? Oh, wait, you don't actually do anything. The air stills. Sarah's smile drops, her hand falling from Greg's arm. Greg clears his throat. I'm gonna grab a drink. Good work, Mark. He walks off. Karen stares at the floor, whispering to Dave. That was harsh. Dave nods at me, like, finally. I head to the bar, order a whiskey, and let Sarah deal with the silence she made. The next morning, I'm at a diner with Jim, the lawyer Mike recommended. Gray hair, desk piled with legal pads and coffee mugs. I lay it out, Sarah's coldness, her public jabs, the gala. He listens, pin scratching. You want to move forward? He asks, looking up. Yeah, I say, leaning back. I'm done. He walks me through it. Division of assets, no-fault divorce. No kids, so it's cleaner. The house is in both our names, but I've got enough saved to walk away. I tell him to start the paperwork, make it quick. He nods, says he'll have drafts by next week. When I get home, Sarah's on the couch, arms crossed, her face a mix of anger and panic. She knows something's up. Where were you? She asks, voice sharp. Out, I say, hanging my jacket. She stands, stepping closer. Mark, we need to talk. You can't just humiliate me at your work event and act like nothing happened. I turn, voice flat. I'm not the one humiliating anyone, Sarah. You've been doing that for years. I'm done playing along. Her eyes widen, and she shifts, voice softening. Look, I'm sorry, okay? I was stressed. Can we just talk about this? I don't want to lose us. I grab a glass, fill it with water. Nothing to talk about. You've had your say. Now it's my turn. She follows me to the kitchen, tone sharper. What's that supposed to mean? You're just gonna walk away? After everything we've built? I set the glass down, look her in the eye. You didn't build anything, Sarah. You tore it down. I'm not sticking around to watch you finish. Sarah's desperate now. A week later, I'm at a car show, showing off the Chevy. I've moved most of my stuff to Mike's, and Sarah knows it. She shows up, all smiles, carrying a coffee like it's a peace offering. She's dressed nicer than usual, her voice warm, almost flirty. Hey, Mark, this is amazing, she says, gesturing to the Chevy. I didn't realize how much work you put into this. I'm proud of you. The crowd's buzzing, but I feel the act. She's never cared about the Chevy before. A guy nearby, a car enthusiast named Steve, overhears and nods. Nice ride, man. Your wife's got good taste. I almost laugh. Sarah's playing to the crowd, trying to pull me back. For a second, I soften. She looks like the woman I married. But I know better. Thanks, I say, sipping the coffee she brought. But I'm good here. You don't need to play cheerleader. Her smile falters. I'm not playing, Mark. I want to support you. Can't we try again? I set the coffee down, look her in the eye. Support's earned, Sarah. You're a little late. Steve glances over, sensing the tension, but stays quiet. Sarah's face tightens, and she leaves without a word. I go back to talking shop with Steve. Her act's crumbling, and I'm not catching the pieces. The final straw comes at a dinner with her work friends, marketing types who laugh too loud at their own jokes. Sarah insists I come, says it's important for us. I go, against my gut, hoping there's something left to save. We're at a trendy downtown restaurant. Exposed brick, overpriced cocktails. I'm next to Sarah, across from her co-worker Jen, a loud woman with a fake laugh, and her husband, Paul, a quiet guy who looks like he'd rather be home. Sarah's in her element, tossing her hair, spinning tales about her latest campaign. Jen asks about our weekend plans. I start to answer, something about taking the Chevy for a drive, when Sarah cuts in. Oh, Mark's always tinkering with that old car, she says, laughing, waving her hand. It's his little hobby. Keeps him out of trouble. Jen laughs, too loud. Paul sips his drink, eyes down. I could let it go. Yeah, it's a hobby, I say, leaning back. Better than spending all day on my phone, pretending I'm busy. Sarah's laugh falters, but she recovers. Oh, come on, Mark, don't be so serious. Tell them that story from work. You know, the one you thought was so funny. I know the setup. She's done this before, teeing me up to knock me down. I play along to see how far she'll go. All right, I say, keeping it light. So, Jeff's giving this presentation, gets his slides mixed up, starts panicking. Sarah cuts in, her laugh like a blade. Oh my God, Mark, that was so awkward. You should have just stayed quiet. She turns to Jen, rolling her eyes. He's always trying to be the funny guy. It's painful. The table goes silent. Jen tries to recover, laughing nervously. Oh, come on, it's not that bad. Paul mutters, rough night, his eyes flicking to me. I feel the heat, but it's not embarrassment, it's clarity. I'm done. I set my napkin down, slow and deliberate. Awkward's when you're stuck with a wife who thinks she's the only one allowed to talk. I say, voice steady, loud enough for the table to hear. Sarah's face goes white. Jen coughs, grabbing her water. Paul looks up, his eyes meeting mine, like he gets it. I stand, grab my jacket. Enjoy your dinner, I say, and walk out. Sarah doesn't follow. The next morning, I'm at Jim's office before he opens. I tell him to file the papers. No waiting. Sarah calls that afternoon, voice shaking. Mark, what are you doing? You can't just walk out like that. I didn't walk out, I say, packing my last tools into a box. I'm done playing your game. She tries everything that week. Tears, apologies, showing up at Mike's one night, banging on the door. Mark, we need to talk, she yells through the intercom. You're being ridiculous. I lean into the speaker, voice calm. Go home, Sarah. We're done talking. She screams about regret, then leaves. I don't open the door. The divorce moves fast. Jim's a pro, cuts through the red tape. Sarah fights it, texts, voicemails, guilt trips. We can work this out, she says in one, voice cracking. Don't throw away 12 years. Then threats. I'll take the house. You'll have nothing. She doesn't get it. I don't care about the house. I've got my condo, my Chevy, my tools, my life. The house goes on the market, split 50-50. She keeps her furniture, her granite countertops, her statement couch. I take what's mine and walk. The day the papers are signed, I'm at Tom and Lisa's, cracking a beer. Tom claps my shoulder. You did good, man. Took guts. Lisa smiles, softer than usual. You deserve better, Mark. She was playing games the whole time. Dave's there, raising his bottle. To freedom, he says, grinning. I clink mine against his. It feels right. Sarah's still in the house, last I heard, trying to keep up her perfect life. Neighbors talk. Her book club's down to a couple stragglers. Her work friends don't call much. She built her world on control. Every jab, every sorry, every cookie, every coffee was a move to keep me in line. It was never real. Her tears, her smiles, her apologies, they were tools, and I saw through them. I didn't yell or fight. I walked away. That was enough. Now I'm in a house out on the edge of town, 2 stories, wide porch, a yard big enough for weekend games, and a garage that actually fits the tools I've collected over the years. The kitchen finally feels alive. No more bear counters. It smells of fresh bread or coffee most mornings. There's laughter in the rooms, not silence. I still work on the cars, still meet the guys, but now it's different. Barbecues that turn into long evenings, neighbors dropping by, music playing. And I'm not alone. I've got someone beside me who doesn't compete, doesn't tear down. She builds with me. She respects me, and that's all I ever wanted. Sarah? She's a chapter closed. From what I hear, she's still circling the wreckage she created, trying to piece it together. That's her problem. Mine is simple. I build a life that finally feels like mine, and I'm not giving it up. I appreciate you being here. If the story made you feel something, drop a like, share your thoughts below, and subscribe for more. Every bit of support helps me keep going and bring you new stories.